Alright, we're making kimchi today.
Okay, so when we cut up the kimchi, the way I like to do it is I take the whole head of cabbage, put it on my cutting board, and start from the leafy end. I start cutting it about 1 inch thick, like that, just like so. And then just keep going like so. Like so. Start getting into where there's a lot of this white, where the thick part of the leaf is at. Then I start cutting it thin. I go like only a quarter to an eighth of an inch thick. And then
okay, now we are mixing the salt into the Napa cabbage. We're massaging it gently to start bringing out the water of the Napa so it can start the fermentation process. And we'll let this sit till it gets working good. Okay, and now we're going to peel our daikon so we can cut it into strips. Just take off a thin outside layer, just like you do in a carrot.
okay, when I do this, I get rid of this, of course, and I cut it into lengths about 2 inches long, 2.5, it don't really matter. Then I stand it up on end, cut that in half, cut it about an eighth of an inch thick, strips like so. I don't know if you saw that. And then I take and cut it like this. To make sort of like a matchstick effect, like little square, little dumosaries. Like that.
To this, as you can see, as I squeeze my hand together, the liquid's coming out. The salt's causing the water to come out of the Napa, and that's what we want. Now we're going to fill this pot with water and soak it to continue so we can rinse it and get all of the liquid out so we have a nice kimchi.
Okay, so now I'm cutting up the peppers that's going to go into my batch of kimchi. So I've got a couple of jalapenos. You can vary these if you'd like, but I've got a couple of jalapenos, 1 serrano, and 3 Thai peppers. So anyway, that's what I'm putting in mine. So all I do is I use my little handy dandy chopper thing. I put seeds and all because I like it a little bit hot. So I just cut it like so. Take my little handy dandy chopper. Cut that up finely like so, and just do that over and over till I'm done with all these peppers here.
And I'm doing the ginger, and I'm peeling the ginger. You can use a spoon. If you have a good peeler, you can use this, because we're going to grate up ginger for our sauce. Okay, now we're going to make the paste that brings out the flavor of our kimchi. What we have here is grated ginger, grated garlic. We have fish oil with sugar and pepper flakes, red pepper flakes. And I've got it all mixed in now so the sugar's dissolved and we have a nice paste. And I'm going to add our hot peppers. This is our jalapeno, our serrano, and our Thai chilies that are all diced up. Mix all this, and then this all gets added to our rinsed.
What we got here is our cabbage, daikon, and it's been salted and brimed for about an hour and a half. And now we're going to remove our cloth that's been holding it under the liquid and get rid of that. And then we're gonna dump this all in the colander and drain all the water out of it. Then we're gonna rinse the salt out of it now. And we just rinse it real well under running water, and that's gonna get rid of most of that salt out of it, which it actually turns out being fairly healthy without the salt. Okay, once we've got it rinsed, we're gonna put it back in our container. And then we add the secret sauce. Get all that goodness in there. Mixing in the secret sauce with our cabbage and daikon and onions. So and I'm wearing gloves because the stuff is pretty hot. And burn your hands if you have tender hands like me. And they stains them all red also. So anyway, once you get it all mixed up, we're going to put it in our container where we're going to let it ferment.
How long do you let it ferment for?
5 days.
So this is a 5-day kimchi.
After we get it all in there, we're going to press it down, and it's going to start making its own liquid, which will be the brine that, see how that comes up when I push on it? So what we want to do is get this all pushed down so we have the brine over all the cabbage and everything. And if we just keep at it, it'll come up.
But we're going to let this sit for 5 days, and it's going to make more liquid as it draws it out. And it's going to fill that up, and you can see we're not going to add any liquid to this because there's plenty in there to make this ferment for 5 days.
What I'm doing now is putting a cheesecloth so that it holds all the cabbage and stuff down. And then what I'm going to do is put this plastic disc that I've made that's got holes in it. And I'm going to put that in there. And then when I push down on it, see how the liquid comes up? And then I put this plastic thing on there. And I push down on the whole thing. Put this weighted jar full of water on there. That holds everything down below the liquid. And now we're going to set it for 5 days and let it ferment.
Do you put it in the refrigerator when you let it sit, or where do you sit it?
No, you just put it out at room temperature is the best. You know, 70, 75.
Perfect,
Yeah.
because when you put it in the refrigerator, it stops the fermenting process,
Right.
correct?
After your 5 days, then you put it into jars. You put it in the refrigerator, which stops the fermentation, and then it'll last for several months in the refrigerator.